At the birthday party, my sister handed out gift bags to those who truly mattered. A sticky note from my daughters read, "Try harder next year." We kept it quiet. We've just departed. The following morning, my sister flung open her front door, her scream piercing the quiet, prompting a neighbor to call the police. I wish I could claim to be surprised. I wish I could express that when I saw what they gave my daughter, my blood ran cold, or that time slowed down like in those dramatic movie moments. But what was the actual situation? It was a moment I had long anticipated. I was filled not with hope, but with a weight of inevitable dread. The party unfolded at my sister's house, a dreamlike space straight out of a Pinterest board. Vibrant balloon arches, a symphony of colors, rise majestically. The dessert table exuded a distinct personality. Matching t-shirts for the birthday twins, proclaiming their destiny, born to shine. Children darted about, clutching their hand-stitched party bags as if they were precious gems. My daughter held onto my hand tightly. She is just 7 years old. She donned the sparkly hairband she chose that morning, claiming it made her feel like a galaxy. She felt the familiar flutter of nerves as we approached, a constant companion in the presence of large crowds. Yet in the car, she rehearsed the words, "Happy Birthday," seeking comfort in their rhythm. Twice. It was a fleeting moment, yet it lingers in my mind, echoing the weight of choices made and paths taken. She crafted 2 little cards, one for each cousin. He drew tiny stars, signing each with affection. Her mere presence filled me with pride. My husband and I lingered by the food table, sharing polite words with strangers, feeling the weight of our distance. I attempted to overlook my sister's disdain for us. My mom's brittle smile warned me, "Don't start anything." My father nodded once before returning to his carving, as if it required all of his focus. Next, the distribution of the gift bags took place. Each one was adorned with the child's name in sparkling letters. Soft companions, these are wands that create bubbles, floating dreams in the air. We offer custom water bottles that reflect your essence. A small keychain adorned with your first initial serves as a simple yet poignant reminder of what truly matters. The kids lit up, eagerly ripping through the gifts as if it were Christmas morning. Then they gave one to my daughter. It was a plain white paper bag, no sparkle, untitled. A lone sticky note, askew, clings to the surface, whispering untold stories. The note, written in my sister's handwriting, serves as a gentle reminder to strive for more in the upcoming year. My daughter stared at it, her eyes wide with wonder. Perhaps she misread it. Perhaps there was a hidden truth within that could illuminate the humor. She reached deep within. She found a shattered crayon. The eraser bears the marks of countless mistakes. The peppermint was crumpled and worn, as if it had journeyed through the depths of a forgotten purse. That was the moment. Her throat constricted. Her eyes met mine for a fleeting moment. Her small fingers inched toward mine, as if she were preparing for something, perhaps fearing she had done wrong, and then laughter filled the air. The words came from the grown-ups. It was my sister's laughter that broke the silence first. Her laughter pierces the air, a poignant reminder that she is in control of the moment, commanding attention with every note. She dismissed her recent behavior, brushing it off as if it were endearing. Voices raised, tears shed over the smallest moments. This serves as a gentle reminder to wake up. My mother laughed softly. Truly, this is what she needs. You protect her too fiercely. My dad let out a half-hearted laugh, as if to brush off the awkwardness, treating it like something harmless. The laughter of the other kids echoed around me. Confusion consumed them. Children often remain unaware, yet they chose to follow the path laid before them. Her smile lit up the room. It was the quivering smile of a child holding back tears. He gazed at me, a moment suspended in time. His expression was not one of disbelief. It has a softer touch, more stable. He knelt beside her. I took the bag from her hands, whispering, "You don't need this. Let's find some genuine cake." We rose. Silence enveloped me. He didn't either. We stepped out of that house, our hands intertwined, as if escaping a fire. We moved forward, unchallenged. They left us in silence, abandoning us to our own thoughts. Not even my sister understands. At home, my daughter sat on the couch, gazing at the glitter stars on her birthday cards, as if waiting for them to reveal some hidden meaning. She wondered if my delay in saying thank you was the reason. I gently replied, "No, my dear. Some people lose the way of kindness." She nodded, clutching the cards to her chest, as if they could protect her heart. She drifted off on the couch, wrapped in the soft throw blanket her dad gifted her last Christmas. Voice reassured her that she was safe. "Within you lies a profound strength. You are cherished." In the quiet of the kitchen, I watched as my husband prepared tea. Words escaped us both. We were never obligated to speak. The scene felt all too familiar. Only the end remains. After a moment, he quietly revealed, "I made the payments. The rent, the grocery card, and the electric bill weigh heavily on my mind." "Everything," I nodded, lost in thought. I pulled open the drawer that held our treasured memories. I opened the folder I had quietly filled over the years. We exchanged messages in silence. These were moments captured in time. I have a printout of the email my sister sent, asking if I could watch her kids for a week while she took a much-needed solo trip to reset. The echoes of Venmo receipts linger in my mind. I covered our parents' property tax, and they promised to pay me back after the cruise. The folder felt heavy in my hands. I've included one final touch. The note clung to the surface, a silent reminder of thoughts once cherished. "Push yourself more next year." I carefully placed it in a clear sleeve. It was placed at the very peak. My husband observed me closely. Silence lingered, yet as I gazed at him, he gave a subtle nod. It's as if someone has granted permission. It feels as though a long-awaited sigh has finally been released. In the quiet of tomorrow morning, I'll leave something behind. Silently, no message, silence prevails. Only truth. Did they truly believe that teaching my daughter a lesson was the appropriate course of action? All right, they were on the brink of a revelation. It began long before my daughter came into my life. That's the deepest pain I can feel. She never intended to discover the truth. His purpose was to ensure his safety. Refined, embraced by a family that extended beyond her birth, she felt a profound sense of belonging. Yet it began long before she arrived. It all began with me. In my home, I discovered the art of performance. The lesson focused on how to transform into the child who received the least amount of criticism that day. It was about sensing the atmosphere long before grasping the written word. Silence felt like a refuge, a shield against the truth. Feigning happiness felt simpler than revealing the truth behind your sadness. Vanessa had always held the title of favorite. It lingered in the silence, unspoken, yet understood. Their tone, familiar yet distant, echoed in my mind as they spoke to her. They sparkled with life at her tales, even the mundane ones. My achievements were met with a distracted, "That's good," while Vanessa's smallest victories were celebrated with cake and a flurry of family group texts. Once, in 3rd grade, I came home holding a certificate for perfect attendance. I battled through colds and stomach aches for that paper. I offered it to my mother, heart swelling with pride, but she barely looked before remarking, "Vanessa got Student of the Month, you know. It's a significant matter." When I achieved an AB+ and excelled in math, a subject I had struggled with for months, my father remarked, "Your sister never brought home less than an A." When I landed the lead in the school play, they were absent. Vanessa stood on the court, heart racing, ready for the game that meant so much to her. It was just a practice game, nothing more than that. Yet it mattered deeply to her, so they promised to attempt the next one. They never did they? Birthdays felt like a burden. Vanessa's and my birthdays overlapped, a shared celebration despite the 2-month gap between them. My name was merely an afterthought on the cake. That year we received a single gift to share between us. The gift was a pair of rollerblades that fit only Vanessa. I felt inadequate, as if I could never meet expectations. He was both silent and loud, reserved yet outspoken. Tears came too readily. I questioned everything. Reclaimed. I withdrew within myself. There were moments I let slip by without a smile. I failed to smile as I should have. No bruises remained, silence reigns. A persistent whisper of inadequacy lingers within me. I was labeled as sensitive simply for noticing. At 15, I returned home in tears, burdened by a teacher's accusation of cheating on a test. I never did, my heart shattered. My mom said, "You really do keep to yourself. Perhaps you seem untrustworthy. Next time, let your smile shine through and embrace the moment." At 17, I found the strength to share with my parents my struggle with depression. My mom sighed, her eyes rolling as she remarked, "That's the new trend, isn't it? Many believe they carry the weight of depression. It's simply boredom that lingers. Discover a passion." Vanessa called me dramatic, then took my phone charger and never returned it. When I left for college, I felt nothing. They surprised me on move-in day just as I had hoped. A week late, they sent a card with $25 and a sticky note that read, "Don't blow it." I held on. I didn't let it slip away. I made it through school. Discovered healing. I discovered the power of naming things. I felt invisible, burdened by blame, and caught in subtle manipulation. I discovered the art of letting go. When I met my husband, I feared I might be too much. I felt the need to apologize for my tears during the film. He handed me a tissue and said, "That part hit hard, huh?" He spoke as if it were an ordinary moment. He was the first to truly ask what I desired for my birthday, and remarkably, he got it right. This was not a mere guess, but rather a result of his attentive listening. I shared my family's story, but I held back the truth, gave it a whimsical twist. He hesitated. When he first met them, he grasped my hand beneath the table. After dinner, he admitted, "You weren't exaggerating." When our daughter arrived, I opened the door to them once more. I dreamed of her surrounded by a loving, bustling family. Family ties weave through memories. Holidays evoke a mix of nostalgia and longing, a time when memories intertwine with the present, stirring deep emotions within us. She was cherished by her grandparents. I longed for her to possess what was missing in my life. It began with a whisper. My sister's remarks about my daughter's clothes linger in my mind. Her style is a bit unconventional, isn't it? My mom is pushing my daughter to hug everyone, even when she feels uncomfortable. "Please be kind, dear." Embrace Uncle Bill tightly. My dad joked about her softness whenever she cried at loud noises. She needs to find her strength to survive in this family. I attempted to share my thoughts. I shared that she faced sensory processing challenges. She craved support, not shame. She was fully committed. He sighed. In exasperation, "You're being too dramatic." "She's okay." Vanessa labeled me a snowplow parent. She claimed I was nurturing a future doormat. In setting boundaries, I found myself labeled as the problem. This was a path filled with challenges. This path is characterized by a high level of intensity. I encountered the same strategies used against me each time I defended my daughter. I had to lighten the burdens I carried. Derision, chilling stillness. At times they even turned me against others, and that felt even more painful. All she longs for is a sense of significance. Once, my mother whispered to Vanessa. I was unaware that I could hear everything. "Allow her this moment." This moment lingers, a whisper of what was, a reflection of what could be. It tugs at the heart, inviting contemplation and connection. It feels as though the struggle for my child is merely a fleeting moment in time. This was a moment filled with intense emotions. And I released it countless times, clinging to the hope that things would improve. I held on to the hope that they would eventually return. Perhaps this time they would finally notice her. They could truly grasp the essence of her being, yet they chose not to. They recognized their reflection. They were driven by a desire for dominance. They longed to preserve the familiar structure that brought them solace. My daughter was simply the next to receive the same treatment I had. At last I understood what it truly was. Now, a choice lay before me. Perhaps I could offer them another chance, allow them to tear her apart just as they did to me. Perhaps I could break free from this cycle. She was my choice. I chose myself. Tomorrow they will grasp the significance of it all. That night, sleep eluded us. My daughter finally fell asleep. Her fingers lingered on the birthday card she had crafted for her cousins. I lingered on the couch, the cursor blinking at me, challenging me to complete what I had begun. In the quiet of 407 IEM, I reached out to the landlord, the person who's overseeing my sister's duplex. I shared that I could no longer continue with the monthly supplement we had agreed upon. The arrangement lacked formality, yet the landlord recognized me, aware that the rent consistently flowed from our account. His response came swiftly, just 20 minutes later. Got it. Today I will let her know about the updated balance. At 4:49 a.m., my husband penned a letter to the loan company regarding the car. Our names appeared on the documents, our credit was at risk, and our money was used for the down payment. Vanessa had faltered twice before we intervened. This time we held back. We emerged in the world. At 6:02 a.m., we laid it all bare. Messages. These messages linger in the silence, waiting for a connection to be made. I recorded messages that labeled my daughter as difficult. Vanessa penned the words, "She'll be just like her mother." She felt overwhelmed and drained. A voice memo lingered in the air. I remember a moment from Christmas 2 years ago, when my mother, unaware of my husband's recording, leaned into Vanessa and said, "Don't bother getting her anything nice. She never truly appreciates it, does she?" Whispers surrounded me, their words heavy with meaning. By 7 a.m., the folder had everything neatly organized, tagged, the item has been marked with notes, tied with a crimson ribbon discovered in the depths of the junk drawer. The ribbon, a small token of joy and memories woven together, was discovered from one of Vanessa's children's birthdays. That moment took me by surprise. It simply felt right. At 7:30, we made our way to my sister's home. The silence conveys a powerful message. The envelope was the only item left. He set it down softly on the doormat, a quiet moment lingering between us. We rang the bell and walked away, leaving behind a moment that felt heavy with unspoken words. The sound pierced the air, stopping us mid-step as we walked. A cry echoes through the silence. Unfettered. A cry escaped her, as if it had been trapped in her throat for ages. I chose not to look back. My husband tightened his grip on the steering wheel, a fleeting smile crossing his face. Later I discovered the neighbor had stepped outside in his robe, worried that someone might be hurt. Seeing Vanessa on the front lawn, red-faced and frantic, he called the police as she clutched the folder tightly, as if it were dangerous. As the officers approached, she struggled to convey her truth. It was harassment. The relentlessness of her sister's madness threatened to tear apart everything she held dear. As they turned the pages of the folder, a wave of memories washed over them. They spoke to her gently, explaining it was a civil matter. Everything is in order. There is no need to overstate the situation. I whispered the truth. By noon, my phone was overwhelmed. 38 messages from my sister linger in my mind. The initial ones were intense outbursts. "What is going on with you? Do you find this amusing?" Suddenly a wave of guilt washed over me. We are connected, bound by love and shared experiences. This situation isn't fair to us, and so it began. You can't just walk away like this. A moment sparked by laughter, and then came the threats. Regret will follow if you don't reconsider this choice. I walked through the quiet moments. My mother reached out 4 times. I left a voicemail on the 3rd. "This has gone too far. This family has long struggled, but now you've ignited a fire. What is it that you seek from us?" Her voice carried more anger than regret. Silence enveloped me. I chose to share the digital version of the folder with our extended family. This folder represents my family, my roots, and my connections. The text lacks any commentary, the subject line may be simple, but it carries significant weight. Have you ever questioned why we faded away? As the day drew to a close, I found myself with 20 replies. Many of them echoed a sentiment of surprise. A cousin reached out with just a single line. "Well done, I'm happy for you." 2 weeks later, the true consequences began to unfold. The landlord kept his promise. Vanessa faced a daunting deadline, 30 days to gather the money or risk losing her home. The loan company flagged the car, a warning arrived, a consequence of our late payments, stirring a mix of anxiety and reflection. A smile spread across my husband's face as he glanced at the notification. My parents reached out to my husband, not me, never me, my partner. She ignores our words completely. My mother spoke. Perhaps she will hear you out. Apologize to her for us. She needs to know she doesn't have to go through with this. He revealed the truth to her. She isn't the cause of your pain. You brought this tragedy upon yourselves. They arrived at our home the following morning. Through the window, my daughter caught a glimpse of them. She turned pale. As I approached the door, I felt a rush of emotions. There they were, waiting for me. I kept them out. We just want to talk, my dad said. The situation is spiraling beyond control. No, I whispered, the weight of the word heavy in the air. This is what happens when choices unfold. My mom struggled to hold back tears. No tears fell. I stood my ground. A card lay waiting in the mailbox. The statement is a typical expression of sympathy. It read, "We long for our family." I returned it, a sticky note clinging to the surface. I felt the same way. I returned indoors to find my daughter on the couch, legs curled beneath a blanket, her expression serene. She glanced upward and inquired, "Were they angry?" I turned away, disbelief washing over me. Their noise filled the air, overwhelming and relentless. "It feels different," she gave a small nod. That night, my husband treated us to ice cream. We let it pass by unnoticed. We simply inhaled and exhaled. Yet within that stillness, something unfamiliar stirred. Serenity. It was deafening. Silence lingered for a week. Perhaps there was a silent fury vibrating just out of sight. My sister had exploded, that's for sure. After the initial scream, the flood of texts, and the futile guilt trips, silence enveloped everything. For a fleeting moment I wondered if that was the end. Perhaps, at last, the message had reached them. It seems they never received it. 10 days after the front door folder drop, my daughter returned from school with a note tucked in her backpack. The note came directly from Vanessa's heart. It was on delicate pastel paper, adorned with tiny hearts along the borders, as if it were crafted for a child. The message was brief. In moments of sadness or confusion, hold on to the thought that Auntie Vanessa's love surrounds you. Reach out whenever you need, regardless of what anyone else thinks. My daughter gazed at me, a mix of confusion in her eyes. Was it me? Did I fail in some way? The fury surged in my throat, unstoppable. Such behavior had become something deeper than boundaries. Such behavior felt like manipulation. The tone was focused, intentional, and subdued. I reached out to the school right away. My sister borrowed a friend's name to drop something off for her niece. There was no need for identification verification. Unwatched. A fleeting smile and a whisper of a name linger in my mind. That afternoon, I took the step to file a no-contact order. I was working in collaboration with the school, the district, and the police. I reached out to my sister and parents with a stop. A follow-up from my lawyer arrived. Just 2 days later, a fake account began to tag me on social media. The fake account accused me of being ungrateful. Some forget their roots, sharing hazy childhood memories with words that echo. A different anonymous message said, "Children grow and change so quickly. One day she will understand your actions." That was the last break. I entrusted everything to my lawyer, who then passed it on to law enforcement. My sister shared a selfie, tears streaming down her face. This is what happens when your family betrays you. Here comes the wave of compassion. The truth slowly began to reveal itself. Silently. There was only one aunt present. There was one cousin. Another cousin appeared. Images spread like whispers in the night. Voicemails echoed in my mind. Everyone received the receipts. This was exactly how I felt. My parents struggled to accept my decision. We made an emergency Zoom call to bring the extended family together. I chose not to go. When someone inquired about my absence from Grandpa's birthday last year, my mother went silent. Questions arose about Vanessa's use of the family emergency fund, especially since she was the only one with a steady income. Someone inquired about the birthday celebration, if the tale circulating was truly real. It was a moment. As the call drew to a close, 4 individuals slipped away unnoticed. My parents no longer share photos from our family gatherings. My sister has erased her presence online. And then the letter arrived. It was a frantic and wandering message from my mother. The message was inscribed in blue ink on personalized stationery. Family is complicated, we falter. In the quiet moments we realize that ultimately, we are all we truly possess. Don't let one misunderstanding cast a shadow over all. Forgive and move forward. Your daughter will feel the weight of this distance one day. So will you. I remained silent. I chose to frame the letter instead. It now hangs next to the sticky note that ignited everything. Push yourself more next year. As we hung the fairy lights around her new bed, a warmth filled the room, illuminating not just the space but our shared moments, weaving memories into the glow. She chose the gentle ones, those that shifted hues gradually, as if inhaling and exhaling. Her breath was different now. It feels lighter now, gentler. Now I feel open and free. He found companionship in unexpected places. He witnessed 2 girls sharing a moment in art class. They were gentle souls, sweet and curious, who understood her need for silence and space. She finally found peace in her sleep. One morning she said to me, "My heart no longer feels alive." I held her close, feeling her soft squeak against my embrace, and then something profound occurred. As the school year drew to a close, her class held a family day. Students had the chance to invite an adult to share cookies and admire their art projects together. She picked me, naturally. She poured her soul into a painting. Swirling galaxies dance in the cosmos, while soft pink comets drift gently by. In the corner, she had inscribed her thoughts in black paint. Safety holds more value than size. As we drove home, I wondered if she'd like to pause for ice cream. She said yes, but then hesitated. "Mother, absolutely, your choice was just. Even if they label you as unkind, your choice was just. Even if they never reach out to us again, your choice was justified, your choice was just." I fought back tears, struggling to breathe. "Thank you, my love, it holds profound significance," she reclined, a smile gracing her lips. That night, I glanced at my email one final time before drifting off to sleep. A single new message awaited me, from Vanessa. No greeting is necessary, there are only 6 words required. "Do you feel happiness now?" "You triumphed." I remained silent. I never had to speak. Yet she was mistaken. I fell short. I turned my back and left. For the first time, I moved forward without glancing back. Maybe I stepped over a boundary, perhaps I fell short. I often find myself reflecting on whether I should have spoken up more at that party. Leaving in silence felt like the loudest choice I could make. I often find myself pondering what memories my daughter will carry with her in the years to come. And she will never need to unlearn it because I intervened just in time. However, I am compelled to ask you a question. Would you have acted the same way if it were your child? Would you have turned your back? Did I push back with more strength? Should I release it? Share your thoughts below. What would you choose to do? Was it the right choice, or have I gone too far? If you're looking for more stories that are authentic and deeply emotional, click on the subscribe button. Press subscribe.